Yo, 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 it's your boy Wes the Tech here to bring you another one of my personal favorite tech tips to help you as an artist grow on your craft. Now, today we're going to go over YouTube Content ID versus YouTube monetization, all right? So if you're a recording artist who's really trying to understand the differences between these two things, then this is the perfect video for you, all right? Because in this video, I'm gonna quickly explain the differences, all right? And I'm gonna jump right into it and start with YouTube monetization, all right? What YouTube monetization is specifically is when YouTube shares the money that they get from ads with you as a YouTuber, all right? So it's when your channel is actually doing so well that you have a certain number of subscribers and you're getting a certain number of watch time hours per year that YouTube decides to partner with you and actually start paying you to keep putting content up, all right? So what they'll do is once you reach, your subscribers and your watch time hours and a couple of other things, they'll start giving you 55% of the revenue that they get from the ads on your videos, all right? This is obviously an amazing thing. Now, if you want to know in depth on how to do this and what the qualifications for in order to get your YouTube channel monetized, well, I actually did a video on how to do that not too long ago. You can click on the link above, or you can wait till the end of the video. It's also in the descriptions below, all right? I left the link to that video in the descriptions below, all right? But that's essentially what YouTube monetization is, all right? It's not specific to artists or producers or anything like that. Anyone who has a YouTube channel can benefit from this, can get their YouTube channel monetized, all right? So don't think that this is just for us as artists. This is for anybody who's on YouTube who has a YouTube channel, all right? Now, what YouTube Content ID is, that one's actually more specific to musicians and producers and things like that, all right? So what YouTube Content ID is basically when how should I say this, like a fingerprint or a piece of protection is added to your music so that YouTube as a system can identify your music, all right? And the reason why this Content ID is so important is because let's say somebody decides to use one of your songs or one of your beats on their YouTube video, all right? Well, if they're gonna use your content, especially probably without asking your permission, and they start benefiting from it through, let's say their channel is monetized and your music is on their channel, on their video, and they're getting ad revenue for it, that's not fair to you because they actually used your music to get money from YouTube on their video, all right? So what YouTube Content ID does is it kind of does a soft copyright to your music when it comes to YouTube specifically, all right? It doesn't copyright your music for everything, all right? It just copyrights it in a sense for YouTube specifically, because what will happen is if that person decides to use your music that has a Content ID attached to it, then what will happen is they will get red flagged and they will have a copyright claim on their video that used your music. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to be banned or they're going to take it down, all right? No. We don't want them to do that. What they're actually going to do is they're actually going to pay you for their ads, for the money that they get from their ads on your channel, all right? So it's almost like, yeah, you could use it, but I'm still gonna get paid for it, all right? Which is why I say it's kind of like a soft copyright because you can't stop them from using it, but you'll still get the revenue for it. So either way, it's a good thing, all right? This is why a lot of producers put YouTube Content ID on their music or on their beats when they put their beats on YouTube. Because if any artist goes ahead and, downloads their beat, makes a whole song, makes a YouTube video and all of that, once they upload that music video on YouTube, you're going to start receiving the revenue for it as a producer because they never actually cleared that with you. They never actually bought that beat from you or anything like that. This is why a lot of producers are very comfortable with putting their beats on YouTube, all right? And it works the same thing for you as a recording artist. If somebody uses your music, let's say as background music to a funny video on YouTube, or let's say it's an informational video and they got your music playing in the background, you're going to receive the revenue for them using that, for that entire video, all right? So they're not going to be able to receive any revenue from that video at all. You're going to receive all that revenue only if you have your YouTube content ID attached to the music that they use. All right. That's why it's very important to make sure you get your YouTube content ID for all your music all the time, because if you don't, you could lose out on a lot of revenue if somebody else decides to use your music on their video. And let's say that video goes viral, you may not benefit from it at all if you don't have the YouTube content ID. But if you do have YouTube content ID, you're going to benefit from all of it. All right. So essentially, that is the difference between YouTube monetization and YouTube content ID. But as a recording artist, you need both. You want to strive to get both. You want to strive to get your channel to a point that you're receiving money from the ad revenue from YouTube on your own channel. You want to do that. So you want to be posting music videos and all of those things and start receiving revenue on your YouTube channel. But you also want to make sure you get your YouTube content ID set in place for your own music, just in case anybody else want to use your music, and you could get revenue from those ads as well. All right. And that's essentially what the difference is between them. Now, if you have any additional questions in regards to YouTube content ID, YouTube monetization, or anything in regards to music business, the music industry, feel free to reach out to me. You can also leave comments in the comment section below. All right. I'm on all the social media platforms. All you got to do is look up WesTheTech and I should come up. All right. But either way, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.